The LSU baseball defending national champions are ranked number 2 by Baseball America and number 4 from D1 Baseball. The Tigers baseball season is only 15 days away from its first pitch in Alex Box Stadium against VMI on Friday, February 16th. And while LSU has 21 players returning from its 2023 national championship team, along with the class of new Tigers listed as high as number 3 in recruiting rankings, and LSU is also ranked number 2 in the overall transfer portal, and that's in terms of quality, not quantity. Johnson has said numerous times this preseason that this team isn't defending anything, but they're still focused on results.
And in terms of results, it's hard to do much better than that team did. I think attacking different challenges and what I would call our process of winning and constantly improving that. And, college baseball and college athletics is kind of under construction, as we know it. But if I look at how we operate, and this is always how I choose to do it, at the highest possible level, what improvements can we make in doing that?
The Tiger Rag 2024 baseball preview will be on sale Monday, February 5th. You guys can pick that up at newsstands around town, or you can get it online on our website for more comprehensive interviews with some key parts of this baseball team, head coach Jay Johnson, Tommy White, Thatcher Hurd, and new pitching coach Nate Yeske. This is Camryn Conner, your host with Tiger Rag Audibles podcast, and for today's episode, I'll be bringing on Teddy Cahill, who covers baseball for Baseball America while he sits down with the news and sports director of the Louisiana Radio Network, Jeff Palermo, alongside the editor of Tiger Rag, Todd Horne, to talk about this 2024 Tiger baseball team. I'll also be sitting down with the assistant editor of Tiger Rag, Will Nickel, to talk more in depth about the 2023 All-American third baseman Tommy White.
The East Baton Rouge Library says this is the year to invest in you. The library brings value by connecting you to information, resources, materials, technology, and experiences. We make a positive difference in your life. All you need is your library card. Stop by one of our 14 locations, open 7 days a week, or find us online at ebrpl.com.
Up next, we'll have National College Baseball writer for Baseball America, Teddy Cahill, to break down his thoughts on the 2024 LSU baseball team, along with Jeff and Todd.
The college baseball season right around the corner. Baseball America just came out with its preseason poll. The reigning NCAA champions, the LSU Tigers, number 2 in the 2024 Baseball America preseason poll. Wake Forest number 1, followed by LSU, Arkansas, Florida, Oregon State, TCU, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Clemson, and Virginia round out the top 10. Here to talk about it from Baseball America is Teddy Cahill. Teddy, I know you're fired up for the upcoming baseball season. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, it's hard to believe that we're getting so close, but it's a great time to be talking college baseball.
It certainly is. Give us your thoughts on why Wake Forest number 1, LSU number 2. I understand a lot's going to change. These two teams are going to go in different directions, but at the moment, and I've seen a lot of other polls have Wake Forest ranked ahead of LSU.
Yeah, I think some of it is just the amount of replacements that LSU is making right now. I think there's a lot to like, but there's a little bit of uncertainty in certain aspects of it. Gage Jump has all the talent in the world, but is coming off that injury. Thatcher Hurd was good at the end of last year, but to ask those two guys to step into the rotation, which we expect LSU to do, that's a little bit uncertain. I like the upside of it, but when you're looking at, Wake Forest returning a first-team All-American in Josh Hartle, and having the depth that pitching staff does, that's a little bit of a separator, I think, right now. And then, also positionally, LSU just has so much new. You lose Dylan Cruz, you lose Paul Skeens. There's a little bit of a question mark just kind of all around. And it's not to say Wake doesn't have some of their own questions. Brock Wilkin and Rhett Lauder were both first-round picks a year ago. We're really splitting hairs here, but we landed on Wake Forest to start the season.
So, Teddy, if you have that many questions about LSU right now, and that's understandable, especially compared to Wake Forest, why the optimism to put LSU as high as number 2?
I mean, I frankly think LSU is the most talented team, 1 through 35, 1 through 40, however far we want to go down this in the country. I think that they can answer all these questions, and if the answers that we think, let's say Gage Jump isn't ready, that he, just it starts SEC play and it's just different after, being out with an injury. Well, I think LSU has the answers to replace him. So that's why I'm as confident in LSU as I am. Right now you can ask some questions of the top of the line in some places, but I just love their depth. I love the ability that Jay Johnson has shown to get the most out of his teams. I just think that they're going to find the answers by the end of the season.
When you look at the position players, what at LSU, your projected starting lineup is pretty consistent with what I think, and I've seen it, resonate with other places as well. What's your biggest question mark position player wise for LSU right now? Or
I would say right now it's about the defense. Michael Braswell, who, I know Jay Johnson has said that he has been even better than he anticipated to this point, but you've got a new shortstop, a new second baseman. Those were positions, that LSU had really veteran guys at last year. You've also got a new center fielder with Dylan Cruz going. And Trey Morgan being such an impactful defender at first baseman. Jared Jones is just not going to be that kind of defender. Almost nobody is. So I have questions about what they're going to look like defensively more than I have questions about anyone being able to hit at the level that they need to.
Well, when we talk about hitting at the level that they need to, the offense, Tommy White's going to carry, I think, a big load along with Hayden Travinski. I mean, those are two guys that were a big part of what they did offensively. What kind of season do you expect from Tommy White, especially coming off the shoulder surgery?
I mean, that we'll be interested to see what the lack of an off season, a normal off season, does for White. But he's, it's not like he played a ton the prior year. He's just been incredibly consistent the first 2 years of his career. So I basically just expect more of the same. He's a guy that really knows what he's doing at the plate. He doesn't really get beyond himself ever. You don't see him swinging from his heels all that often. He knows he has the power, but his 2-strike approach is incredible. I just think he's going to be one of the best hitters in the country ultimately.
Believe that White will break Matt Laporte's record for home runs?
I mean, I think that's very much on the table. All he has to do is do what he did a year ago and he breaks it. And that's a big ask, I guess. But that's also less, that he hit 27 homers as a freshman. So, he's got it in him. I think he can do it. It's going to be a little bit different without Dylan Cruz, right there. In the lineup with him. But I do think that, teams are not going to be able to pitch around Tommy White this year any more than they were able to a year ago. So, I think he's got it in him to break that 21st century home run record.
Do you see Hayden Travinski at DH being able to help that situation with White, sort of buffer White in the lineup, or vice versa?
I'll be interested to see how exactly they line it up. Where does White hit? Where does Jared Jones hit? Where does Travinski hit? Last year it felt like there was any number of ways to craft the lineup, and obviously they eventually settled on White hitting right there, in the top of the order, consistently with Cruz. And I just don't know where they're going to end up slotting him. I know Tommy likes to hit second or third. Travinski's an option to hit behind him. Jones is an option. They've got plenty of guys. And I'll be interested to see what Travinski can do over the course of a full season. He, of course, didn't really have that opportunity a year ago, so hot down the stretch. But what's it going to look like over the course of 56 games?
Teddy, I think a lot of LSU fans are excited to see what Cam Johnson can bring to the table. What do you think, or what's your projection for him in his freshman season?
They have so many guys. I think what you saw out of Johnson in the fall is, it's an incredible talent. They're going to use him. I think they're probably going to use him in some sort of, short inning, but not necessarily one inning relief role out of the bullpen. Just kind of let him air it out for a while. That's the role that they had a lot of the freshmen in a year ago. If he demands more, it's possible that they'll give him more. Sometimes players like that do demand more, but he's got all the talent. It'll just be about how quickly he can adjust to the speed of college baseball and the quality of hitters that you have to face in the SEC.
Teddy, speaking of pitching, does it throw you any concern, or does it concern you at all that Johnson's on his third pitching coach in 3 years? And what do you think Nate Yeskie brings to the table?
I mean, I am not concerned about that. You have two guys that get Power 5 jobs out of it, in Jason Kelly going to Washington, a place that he had been before, and Wes Johnson going to Georgia. It's hard to begrudge a guy who takes one of those jobs, especially Wes Johnson going and getting an SEC job, and Jason Kelly going back to UW. So no, that I'm not concerned about the staff turnover, and I think Nate Yeskie is an outstanding pitching coach. I think that the two of them obviously know each other well, having worked together at Arizona before, and I think maybe if the timing had been a little bit different, with the way A&M and LSU jobs had been filled a couple years ago, that maybe Nate Yeskie would have arrived in Baton Rouge with Jay directly from Tucson. But I think that he's a really quality pitching coach. The track record really speaks for itself over the years, and I think that this should be a good partnership for this season and hopefully going forward as well. I know that nobody wants to keep running these coaching searches.
Teddy, thanks a lot for your time. We'll be checking in with you from time to time during the season. But thanks a lot. Keep up the great coverage of college baseball at Baseball America.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, guys.
The assistant editor of Tiger Rag, Will Nickel, is currently working on a piece about the LSU 2023 All-American third baseman Tommy White. Will's with me to talk about what to expect from Tommy White this season. Thanks for coming on, Will.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so like I said, you're working on a baseball piece right now that'll be published today on TigerRag.com. What are you thinking of this team without star player Dylan Cruz?
Replacing a player like Dylan Cruz is obviously really difficult. He was one of the team's leaders last year. He had 70 RBI. Jay Johnson called him one of the best baseball players to ever play. So replacing that production is going to be difficult.
Every single guy that's going to be out there can do exactly what was done last year. I know it was Tommy White and Dylan for a lot of it, but it was not that at all last year. Beloso, Dugas, all those guys, we just got on base and everybody cashed in. So I think it's going to be the same thing this year. Everybody's going to contribute, and we'll be good for that.
Yeah, they were a dynamic duo, but like White said, this whole team lineup is going to work to fill the void left by Cruz's departure.
Yeah, having guys, especially like Hayden Travinsky and Jared Jones returning with the young guys is going to definitely help. And then also having everyone healthy, like Tommy White, having him back 100% healthy will definitely help.
So surgery went well. It's awesome. I think so. Last year, opening day, popped out, and it popped out probably 20 times throughout the year. So I was popped out in the dog pile. So it was definitely a struggle throughout the year and something I had to play through. So I'm excited to finally play healthy. I was battling adversity all last year, and now that we're finally healed up and fixed up, it should be fun.
I just can't even imagine Tommy White's shoulder popping out 20 times and even in the dog pile and still playing the way he did last year. How do you think White staying healthy will affect this team's chances of a national championship?
Yeah, it was an injury that he obviously dealt with for a long time. It was a recurring injury, and he still had over 105 RBI last year. He's one of the best hitters in college baseball. But so obviously the expectations are going to be high this year, but he's not even really focused on that. He even said that he doesn't know who they're playing after their opener this season.
Yeah, so everybody thinks we're defending. That's not even close. We're attacking. This is a brand new opportunity, brand new team. We're taking every day like it's our last. So I'm excited. I don't really think about last year now. I'm just excited to, get back there and attack each pitch, every out, and be a fun season.
All right. Thank you, Will, for coming on and talking about Tommy White with me. Just a reminder to keep your eyes out for Will's article, as that'll be out later today, or it may already be out.
Yeah, and I'm also working on a story about Gavin Guidry and then UCLA transfer Gage Jump as well. So check those out when they drop too.
Yeah, lots to stay tuned for, you guys.
It's your time to move things forward. U.S. Army Reserve.
Baseball season is officially 15 days away, and the Tigers are ranked number 2. It's safe to say that fans all around are dying to see what LSU will bring them this year. I want to thank all the guests that we had on the show. It'll be interesting to see how the season unfolds. Like I said in the beginning, Tiger Rag will be having a special 2024 baseball season preview coming out next week with an extended version online on our website with more comprehensive, exclusive interviews from head coach Jay Johnson, Tommy White, Thatcher Hurd, and new pitching coach Nate Yeske. All right, that finishes up the episode today. Stay tuned here and on TigerRag.com for more insider chats and all things LSU sports, and I'll be back next week.